This afternoon, Midas Plus has a really good update on what's going on in Iran. It's one of the best updates I've seen in a while from any news outlet. Midas Plus is just Midas Touches news service on Substack. It's just their, just what their newsletter that they post on Substack. I spoke in a lot in my live earlier today, and I welcome you. Thank you for joining us at this recorded episode. But in the live earlier today, we were talking about the fact that Iran has determined that it is not going to continue with negotiations anymore. It's cut all negotiations off with the U.S. through its intermediary, Pakistan. It's doing that in retaliation for Israel continuing to bomb Lebanon and continuing the ongoing war in Lebanon and continuing to kill people in Gaza. Well, let me just before we get into it a little bit more, let me just go over a little bit of Midas Touch's coverage because I really like it today. And sometimes, as much as I do political analysis, I think sometimes it's incredibly, not sometimes, all the time actually, it's incredibly important to just know the news, to just know what is happening. So let's just run through this bulleted point of issues associated with this and how it's affecting us here in the U.S. in terms of gas prices. Iran suspends all talks and messages, exchanges with the United States per Iran's Tasnim news agency. Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, expands military operations in Lebanon, crossing the Litani River, and threatening strikes on Beirut's Dahia district. I hope I didn't pronounce that incorrectly. Iran threatens to fully blockade the Strait of Hormuz and activate the Bab el-Mando Strait in the Red Sea. You would be talking about Iran. I'm correcting myself because folks have been correcting me on my pronunciation of the country, and it doesn't take a lot for me to try to fix it and at least say it as accurately as I can. So according to this reporting from Midas Plus, if the Iranians are looking to potentially shut down a second waterway, a second strait in the Red Sea, again, I don't know the details. We'll have to learn about it if they do shut it down. But this Bab al-Mandab Strait, we know that 15 to 20% of all of the world's energy, oil, comes through the Strait of Hormuz. And we're all feeling the pinch of that because of Donald Trump's stupid war. The price of gas spiked 7 cents immediately. It kind of went down, 7 cents immediately after Iran made the announcement that they were, blocking the Strait of Hormuz and they were done negotiating with the village idiot Donald Trump. It briefly sort of worked its way down to $94 a barrel, and as of just moments ago, it was back up to about $100 a barrel. So right now it's about 2:04 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see what happens. The village idiot Donald Trump. This is not in this report. I read it separately. I don't know which news outlet reported it. I'm sure they're all reporting it now. But the village idiot Donald Trump, in an effort to manipulate the markets again, said that he just had a call with Netanyahu, and it was a very good call, and that Netanyahu won't be hitting Hezbollah targets in Lebanon now. Well, I highly doubt that to be the case. We'll see what happens. I can't imagine that that's actually going to be a thing. Or if it is a thing, it'll happen just long enough for the markets to sort of, for the oil market the price to kind of go down a little bit, because commodities traders will react to that, and then it'll almost certainly go back up. I have to apologize, guys, because allergies are still here, even when I'm talking about the news. So it's better in here than over here, and it's disgusting to look at. But I digress. Let's get back to important things. Iran's IRGC claims to have shot down a U.S. MQ-1 drone early this morning. That would be the second drone that the Iranians have shot down in a week, or in less than a week. The Iranians also targeted an F-35 fighter several days ago. They didn't shoot it, but the F-35s were supposed to be, and should be, able to evade Iranian radar, especially since the village idiot Donald Trump Donald Trump and drunken Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, have told us that Iran's targeting capabilities, radar capabilities, have been completely destroyed. If they've been completely destroyed, why is it that Iran was able to target our best fighter jet that has the most sophisticated equipment to avoid radar detection and opt not to shoot it down? A Panama, next to a bullet point here, a Panama flagged container ship near Qasr, Iraq. A Panama flagged container ship near Qasr, Iraq, per the UK Maritime Trade Operations Office. I think they left out of the bullet point that it was hit. Oh no, it says. I'm sorry. My freaking glasses. I have a teleprompter over here, and my reading glasses. The teleprompter's too far for my reading glasses to be able to see it, but it's too close for my distance glasses to be able to see it. So I'm trying to read stuff that I can't see, and I don't know if there's any in-between glasses solution. But honestly, considering what I'm reading, this is a first world problem. So let's move on. So another container ship was hit. We don't have any more reporting that I'm aware about, about that yet. I haven't seen any reporting about this, other than at least here in the U.S., other than Midas, and I don't know why that's the case. The U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve falls to its lowest level since early 2024, per Gas Buddy's Patrick Dean Hahn, which means that there's only so much that we can pull out of those reserves before they are empty. And the problem is, if the stupid war or ceasefire or whatever the fuck it is continues on too long, there was a separate article today, there was separate reporting in The Guardian where it was saying that experts in the area of oil and gas say we have passed the point of no return. That even if things got better today, even if the war ended today, you would see a slight drop in gas prices, and then they would stay there because they simply are not able to put enough energy back into the market to make up for the damage that this shortfall has, that this shortage has created by the village idiot Donald Trump's stupid war, and him and Pete Hegseth and the rest of their planners around them, their utter incompetence in not knowing that the Strait of Hormuz would be shut down and that we would be dealing with a major energy crisis. There are, I'm pretty sure Midas is going to report on this further down, but I mean, we're talking about if this continues beyond even the fact that we're at the point of no return in terms of gas prices getting down to any reasonable number anytime, perhaps ever, we're looking at a potential global catastrophic collapse if things don't change and don't change fairly soon. I think overall across the world, the average reserves left, I think July 1st is sort of the estimated deadline when everyone sort of pretty much runs out of fuel, including the Europeans. That would be catastrophic to the world economy. It would certainly be catastrophic to the U.S. economy. And if you think this oil stuff isn't going to affect you beyond, some high, if you're supporting the village idiot Donald Trump in this stupid, meaningless war, you're willing to pay higher gas prices for the Iran supposedly having a nuclear weapon within like an hour, which wasn't the case anyway. Wasn't even, and the only reason that Iran was closer to having a nuclear weapon is because the village idiot Donald Trump in his first administration pulled us out of the JCPOA, which was President Obama's negotiated settlement with the Iranians. That was verified and was working and was stopping them effectively from having a nuclear weapon. But the imbecile pulled us out, which further incentivized the Iranians to begin developing a nuclear weapon. And after this dumb war ends that the moron got us into, that he's desperate to get us out of, that he can't, Iran will once again be in a far better position than it was before the war. They already are. And they are going to be even more incentivized to create a nuclear weapon. They won't be stopped now unless we engage in a ground war with the Iranians, which isn't going to happen. Or the idiot decides he loses his mind and he decides he's going to drop a nuclear bomb, which, God forbid. I wish I could say like 100,000% certainty that he's not that fucking crazy and he's not that dumb, but anything's possible. Anyway, I digress. I'm off topic here. Uh, roughly the next. Let's go to the next bullet point here. Roughly 60 U.S. Air Force aerial refueling tankers are relocated to the Ben Gurion Airport in Israel. I don't know why. Pakistan's prime minister publicly praises China as the world's most dominant military and economic power. You have to remember that the Pakistanis are the intermediaries, working on behalf of the Iranians and the U.S., to try to end this war. And it is interesting, politically interesting, geopolitically interesting, that they chose to praise China as the world's dominant military power when they and economic power when they have all the leverage they possibly can against the U.S. We don't have any choice. We need them. The idiot needs them more than we do because it is the idiot is Donald Trump, by the way. It is the only way the idiot can possibly get out of this war. Just a couple of perhaps unrelated bullet points that Midas Touch shares here. A federal appeals court rules Trump's transgender military policy ban is likely unconstitutional. That is fantastic. It's not time to celebrate at all now because they're going to appeal this. If it's time to appeal to the Supreme Court, if all the lower courts are done, I don't see any chance the Supreme Court overturns on this matter a federal appeals court. I don't see any chance they don't overturn this federal appeals court, but you never know. Every once in a while, they do something that isn't horrific, but that's rare. Scott Pelley confronts new 60 Minutes leadership hire at all hands-on meeting per Puck's Dylan Byers. Scott Pelley is a longtime 60 Minutes correspondent. I just took a quick glance at this story earlier today. Apparently, Pelley, Barry Weiss, the non-journalist, no media experienced Trump lackey buffoon who was put in charge of CBS News by by Larry Ellison and his Nepo baby goofball son, who now own the network and own the news, that news outlet, and turned it into a Trumpian propaganda cesspool like Fox News. Well, apparently there was, from what I read, Pelley was in a staff meeting and he just kind of unloaded on Barry Weiss. I don't know if he told, I can't remember what the exact language was, but it was something like she is the destruction, or she has killed off 60 Minutes, or something like that. But it's an interesting story. Not that any of us want to be bothered with CBS News anymore, and we don't even really watch. I can't speak for you, but I don't even watch 60 Minutes anymore because of Barry Weiss. But if you, I think it's worth it to take a look at the story because whenever you see a profile on courage, whenever you see a journalist standing up for journalism and for democracy, it's worth paying a little bit of attention to. Next bullet point, Tina Peters, freed by Colorado Governor Jared Polis, kicks off her MAGA media tour. Peters had a long sentence for, I can't remember exactly what her crime was. I think she's sort of like, she was in Colorado. She was and again, fact check me on this, look it up. I'm just going to give you a quick overview from memory. She was a election official. And during Trump's purge, his effort to try to prove that the 2020 election was stolen from him, which he's not done yet, she was part of that in her own way. And I think she illegally allowed some contractor full access to voting machines and voting machine data, which is a crime. It's a state level crime, not a federal crime. She was put in jail, indicted, convicted by a jury of her peers, put in jail for forever, not ever, but for several years. It was a long sentence. For whatever reason, the Democratic governor of Colorado caved eventually to the demands of the MAGA horde and to the threats of the village idiot Donald Trump, and commuted her sentence, and she's free now, and she's going to kick off her MAGA media tour. She's probably going to become very wealthy in the MAGA community now. She'll be rewarded for her crimes. If the village idiot winds up getting his $1.776 billion slush fund to pay criminals, fellow criminals of his who he likes, I'm sure she'll get a nice payout from this. I don't know why Polis did it. There are I'm struggling right now to with 2 governors, my own governor, Mikey Sherrill, Governor Jared Polis. Sherrill, why she unleashed the New Jersey State Police on protesters at Delaney Hall. That's another story for another day, though. I won't talk about that right now. But over the weekend, and why Polis did this, I can't believe that normal governors just do stupid shit for this reason. I'm not joining the crowd to tar and feather them crowd, with the pitchforks out. I've got to believe there's something behind it. Maybe I'm naive and I'm too hopeful for these governors. Other than well, at least with Paris Polis's case, other than cowardice, Mikey Sherrill's case is clearly not about. It's not a case. Her situation is clearly not about cowardice. I think she just, in her instance, I think she just fucked up. She just made a bad political decision as a first-time governor, went against her own beliefs and her own morals, and instead of coming out while it was happening, apologizing, reining the state police in, saying she made a mistake and rectifying it, I think she doubled down. I think she just fucked up on top of a fuck up. But she also has several years. She's got a 6-year term, and she's only into the 6 months of it. So she's got time to fix this because she's done a hell of a lot of good things. I don't know what Polis's situation is, but I don't know. I just want to believe it's not just pathetic. Perhaps I'm wrong. Maybe I'm too naive. So anyway, Kash Patel's girlfriend sues MSNBC for defamation, which I think is hysterical. Go for it. Sue away. Hopefully MSNBC doesn't settle. It's called, by the way, Midas. It's called MS now, but what's the fucking difference? I'm going to watch that lawsuit just for entertainment purposes because, those are sometimes kind of unintentionally funny. And judge orders Trump legal team to respond to Florida court ruling on potential fraud in IRS lawsuit. I'm not sure what that story is about. Anyway, that's it for this. I just wanted to do a quick post on this. Make sure you follow and subscribe and like. And we do a lot of, if you're new to the channel, whether you're here on YouTube or on Substack, I do a lot of really edgy political analysis and opinions. I mean, sometimes I do sort of pseudo straight up news reviews like this, but mostly analysis and opinions. Please make sure you like and follow. See you soon, guys.